Just wanting to pop on here and share a little something that I want to clear out of my mind and close loops on and close a tab on. It started when the other day I saw a friend share a post, a story by the holistic psychologist. And the post that she shared was 8 signs of an emotionally safe partner. But when I read it as 8 signs of an emotionally safe parent. And I actually really liked it because it was a beautiful invitation for me to hold a mirror to myself and also give other mamas an opportunity or invite other mamas into like holding a mirror to themselves in these ways. It's so relevant to the conversation. When you are an emotionally safe parent, it allows your children to know what that feels like. That is becomes the normal and the foundation of what relationships are based on. And that is what they seek out. Or when that is off, they have a clear marker that they can compare things to. So I wanted to run with it. And it's been something that I've wanted to speak to for a while since it passed through my feed. And I thought today would be a great day to clear this loop and to close it and get this browser cleared from having that tab open on it. So I'm going to start by saying 8 signs of an emotionally safe partner was the original post. Now I'm going to reframe it and reframe each of these 8 slides to say what it would look like if we were emotionally safe parents or if we were emotionally safe mamas. So if we were to be emotionally safe parents or an emotionally safe mama, we would be able to listen to feedback about ourselves without becoming highly defensive or reactive. And what that would look like in action is when our child or children are reflecting back to us or are sharing something that they are experiencing, that we're able to listen to them without shutting them down, without defending ourselves, without needing to correct them or become reactive. The goal would be to be in a responsive, respectful dialogue with any complaints or any grievances or any feedback that our children are coming to us with. So again, if we want to be emotionally safe mamas or parents, we're able to listen to feedback about ourselves without becoming highly defensive or reactive. The second one was to be an emotionally safe mama or parent means that I know when I'm in a mood or I just need some space and I take it. And I also allow the same for my children. So in action, if I am in a mood or struggling or knowing that I need to take space, that I give myself permission to do that. And I also name it. I'm in a mood. I need a minute. I'm going to go ahead and take some space, which also models and gives permission for us to do the same for our children. So many times children are not allowed to be in a mood or to feel their feelings or to have big emotions or to just feel off. We have such high expectations that we set for children to navigate and move through life with. And I think in order to change that story, we begin with ourselves and naming that it's okay to feel off. Like, I'm a mama. There's stuff going on in my life. I'm struggling. I'm in a mood. I need to take space. And then I also find a way to create boundaries and actually take that space that I need so that I can come back into the relationship better resourced and in a better place. And then when I see that my children are in a mood, that I can talk to them about that as well, acknowledge that they may be feeling off invite them to look and see if they need space, and then allow them and give them permission to go and take it. And which means that maybe a conversation or something needs to get put off, or maybe plans have to shift in order to accommodate that. But the goal of being an emotionally safe parent or mama is to be able to identify when we're in a mood or want to take space or need to take space and take it, and then do the same for our children. And then the third one is when our children are upset or express an issue, as an emotionally safe parent or mama, I'm receptive to what they are sharing. And I don't invalidate them by saying things like, oh, you're so sensitive or you're too needy. So in order for me to be an emotionally safe mama or parent, this can go for both mom, dad, caregiver, whatever that looks like, when our children are upset or expressing displeasure or expressing something, I'm open and receptive to what they are sharing. I'm not trying to convince them or talk them out of it or label them as too needy or too sensitive. And so it's just takes that holding a mirror to ourselves. And when our children come to us, are we able to be responsive, open, receptive? And whether it's the big things or the little things, when we're able to be that with our little children over something that may seem insignificant or trivial to us, that allows them to build the trust in us and to find that emotional safety to continue coming to us as their issues become bigger or more intense or something with greater risks. That sense of giving them emotional safety and building trust is what will allow them and give them the security they need to come to us as other things unfold in their lives. The next one, I think this is the fourth one, to be an emotionally safe mama, I'm genuinely interested in my child's emotional experience. When I ask them how their day went, what an interaction was like for them, or how an experience felt for them, I'm genuinely interested in their emotional experience and hearing about that and holding space for them to be able to share. When I ask about their day, I want them to have my full attention. And if I'm in the middle of something, if I'm finishing up a text or if I'm on something and they start sharing something with me, I actively say, you don't have my full attention right now. And what you have to say to me is so important that I want to give you my full attention. Can you please let me finish this up here? And then I'll be able to give you my undivided attention. And if it's something that I'm sensing is a greater urgency, then I'm able to work with that and set down my phone and finish what I was doing so that I can prioritize whatever interaction was unfolding or any response or anything they were wanting to share with me around something. And it can go like what I saw at the park, possibly oh, I heard somebody say that, or I overheard this, or I saw you struggling with this. What was that like for you? And how did that experience feel for you? And allow them the space to name it and to fully share with me in a way that they feel that they're being seen and heard, understood, that I'm genuinely interested in their emotional experiences. The next one, which I believe was 5, to be an emotionally safe parent or mama, I cherish the quirky and unique parts of my child, and I encourage my child to do things that bring them joy. So I'm not trying to change my child. I'm not trying to fit them in a box. I'm trusting that who they are and their quirkiness and their unique parts are part of their unique expression of creation on this planet. And I'm not trying to beat that out of them or shift that out of them or talk that out of them. To be an emotionally safe parent, I'm wanting to hold space for that quirkiness, but even beyond holding space for the quirkiness and uniqueness, to actually celebrate it and encourage them to do things that bring them joy and light them up. And so I believe this is the sixth one. To be an emotionally safe parent, to be an emotionally safe mama, when I have a bad day, when I say something I regret, or I act in a hurtful way, I apologize. And ideally, I apologize as soon as I am able to. I want to repair that rupture. I want to name that the way that I treated them or the way that I acted was not okay, that they deserve better and are worthy of being treated with more respect or more grace, or not being hurt by my words or my actions. So in order to convey that message, I need to get to a place where I can apologize and repair any damage that was done because I've had a bad day, or I've said something that I regret, or I've acted in a hurtful way. And when I apologize, it gives them permission to model that, to imitate, to emulate that same way of being when they have a bad day, when they say something they regret, or when they act hurtful. It gives them the model, the foundation of, oh, what do we do when that happens? We name it and we apologize for it, and we do our best to make it better and repair and ensure that it won't happen again. So that was that one. Let's see, the next one. To be an emotionally safe parent or mama is, I can have uncomfortable or tense conversations without name calling, shaming, or getting out of control. And the truth is that as a mama and as a parent, we are under stressful conditions. Sometimes we are moving through things that are stretching us beyond our regulated state. And so when we're in that place, it's often coming from conversations that we're having, or needing to be in a partnership, be in a relationship when we're not at our best. And when we're not at our best, and oftentimes it's been modeled for us and by how we've been parented, by our relationships that we've had throughout our life, by media, is that the normal is that when we're in uncomfortable or tense conversations, it's often been modeled and passed down and imprinted in us that there's name calling and shaming and getting out of control. And to be an emotionally safe parent for our children, we're able to get to a place where we can have these uncomfortable, intense conversations without those things, without the hurt, without it getting out of control, without any shaming. And I feel like that may circle back around to a couple of the other slides prior to, when we're not in a good place, when we're in a mood, when we're struggling, that may not be the best time to have uncomfortable or tense conversations, that we actually take space, get into a better place, and then come back to it. And then it kind of circles back to another one of the slides, that if we do engage in uncomfortable or tense conversations and do show up in a reactive way, or things unfold that are not supportive or respectful or are hurtful, can we apologize? Can we humble ourselves and identify where we wanted the conversation to go, and possibly how off course it went, and how to course correct? The next one is, to be an emotionally safe parent, our children should feel comfortable around us and don't have to walk on eggshells or monitor how they're feeling or monitor their mood out of fear of how we'll react. There's hypervigilance is what is like taglined on this. And the truth is that so much of the pattern of hypervigilance or walking on eggshells or monitoring and, really trying to pick up on the field of what's going on and then adjusting our behavior so that we don't aggravate it or instigate it or make it worse, that comes from what our childhood was like. And so the gift of being an emotionally safe parent is that our children don't have that as a baseline. They're actually not needing to be hypervigilant because they're comfortable. They feel safe. They don't have to walk on eggshells because we're actually saying, you know what? I'm in a mood right now. I'm going to need to take some space because I don't feel safe right now. And I want to make sure that you always feel safe with me. And so in order for us to be emotionally safe parents and mamas, it's important for our children to be able to feel comfortable around us, to be able to feel safe, to not have to walk on eggshells or monitor their moods out of fear, because of how we will react as parents. And that was the last of them. So that was 8 ways per the holistic psychologist how to be an emotionally safe partner. But like I said, when I read it, it was so relevant to my misread. I read it as how to be an emotionally safe parent. And like I said in the beginning, I think so much of a standard or a bar is set in our relationships based on the foundations and what we experienced in childhood and with our parents in the parent-child relationship. So the greatest gift that we can give our children is to be emotionally safe. And that comes from having awareness, being regulated, being equipped with the wisdom of how to communicate in a way that doesn't cause more harm. It takes us being trauma-informed mamas where we know the trauma that we have. We know we don't want to pass it on to our children. We know that so much trauma comes from the parent-child dynamic or comes from childhood, and that we move through life with the lens of not wanting to impact or harm them or impart any more trauma on them than life will dish out to them, and that we equip them by modeling for them how to move through life in an emotionally safe way so they feel safe, so it's imprinted on them, and so that's the normal and what they're seeking and looking out in relationships. So super grateful. The holistic psychologist always has such beautiful shares that are so spot on, and this one just reframed into holding the mirror to us as parents felt really supportive. And I hope you enjoy where I went with this. And if there's anything you want to share about your tips and tools for being an emotionally safe parent, what you do to be able to stay resourced, drop them in the comments below so that we can all glean from the wisdom that we are all learning as we navigate uncharted territories, because this is not the language and this is not the lens that our parents were walking through parenthood with. So we're in uncharted territory, and the more of us that are collaborating and sharing and supporting and encouraging and lifting each other up along the journey, the better we are served and the better our children are served and the planet and our future. So thanks so much for tuning in, and I will check you out later. Have a beautiful whatever, wherever you are. And all the best.